All right, good day, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Allow me to take you through one of the most important concepts of Euclidean geometry, which is midpoint theorem. Right. So, in this video, we'll be focusing on the midpoint theorem and also problems that are closely associated with a midpoint theorem. So the first thing that I would like us to explore is actually the definition of a midpoint theorem. So what is a midpoint theorem, or what does the midpoint theorem actually states? So the midpoint theorem states that the line joining the midpoint of the two sides of a triangle is parallel and equal to half the length of the third side. So that is according to the midpoint theorem, right? Now, from this, let's actually look at these two different triangles and try to understand how does your midpoint theorem actually works and what does the midpoint theorem actually try to say from this particular example, right? So in this diagram, it is given that AP equal to PB and AQ equal to QC. Now, since it is given that AP equal to PB and AQ equal to QC, therefore, we can conclude by saying what? PQ is parallel to BC and PQ is half length of what? BC. So this is basically what the midpoint theorem is stating, that the line joining the midpoint, since AP equal to PB, it means that P is actually the midpoint of AB. And then since AQ equal to QC, it means that Q is actually the midpoint of what? Of AC. So this line is joining the midpoint of two sides of a triangle. Therefore, we can conclude by saying what? This line, it is parallel to the third side. This is actually the third side of the triangle. This line is parallel to the third side of a triangle, and this line is half length of the third side of a triangle. So PQ is parallel to BC, and also PQ is half the length of what? Half the length of BC. So for that would actually provide that this is according to what? The midpoint theorem. So our conclusion is this one, and this conclusion, it is based on what? It is based on the midpoint theorem. Right. Now, in the second case, you might actually encounter a triangle whereby you are given that AP equal to PB and PQ is parallel to BC. If you can check, this case is actually different from the first case, because the first case, it was given that this one equal to this one and this one equal to that one. Then our conclusion was this one is parallel to this one, and this one is half length of this one. So in this case, we are given that this one equal to this one, AP equal to PB, and PQ is parallel to BC. Then what conclusion can we draw from this? We can therefore say AQ is equal to QC, and PQ is half the length of BC. So this is almost the same, but in this case, we are given that this one equal to this one and this one is parallel to this one. So the conclusion that we can draw is that AQ equal to QC, and also that PQ equal to half the length of BC. Now the reason for this one will be line through midpoint is parallel to the second side. So line through midpoint parallel to the second side. So In simple terms, you must always take note that you would only make your conclusion on midpoint theorem if you are given that this side is equal to this side and then that side equals to that side. So from that, you can therefore say this one is parallel to this one and this one is half the length of this one. That is according to a midpoint theorem. And then this one, this side, when you are given that this the length from here to there equal to the length from here to there, and then this one is parallel to this one, our conclusion will be this one equal to this one, and this one is half the length of that one, because this time around it is given that the two sides are parallel. Now let's actually go through some problems in order to try to relate with what we just discussed. Right. So now in the sketch below, AP equals to PB. So AP equals to PB and AQ equals to QC. AQ equals to QC. BC equal to 8 centimeter. BC equal to 8 centimeter and angle B equals to 69 degrees. So angle B equal to 69 degrees. So it's given here on the diagram. So let's try to go through the problems. So the first question is that determine the size of angle P1. Where is angle P1? This is angle P1. But we need to start working on what we discussed previously according to the first case or the second case. So what is it that we are given? We are given that AP equals to PB and AQ equals to QC. Then what can we say from that? Let's have the solution. Number one. So we can say AP equals to PB. This is given. This is given. And then also AQ equal to QC. This is also given. Then what conclusion can we draw from this? Therefore, we can say PQ is parallel to BC, and also that PQ is half the length of BC. So this is according to what? Midpoint theorem. Right. So from what we have, we can say AP equals to PB. It is given. Then AQ equals to QC. It is also given. Therefore, our conclusion can be what? PQ is parallel to BC, and also PQ is half the length of BC. That is according to midpoint theorem. So since now we know that PQ is parallel to BC, now we can actually say angle B is equal to angle P1. Then that will be a corresponding angles, because PQ is parallel to BC. So from this we can say angle P1 equal to 69 degrees. What is the reason for that? Is that these are your corresponding angles, because PQ is parallel to BC, and we just proven that using the midpoint theorem. Right. The second question, determine the length of PQ. So now we have to determine the length of PQ. So PQ. So we can say PQ equal to half the length of what? Of BC. Remember the reason for this, it's your midpoint theorem. So this is according to midpoint theorem. So we'll have that PQ equal to half the length of AC. What is, BC. What is BC? BC is actually 8 centimeters. What is half of 8 centimeters? It's actually 4 centimeters. So that is the length of a PQ using a midpoint theorem. So let's go through the second example and check how is it different from the first one. Right. In the second example, in the sketch below, PQ is parallel to AB. So we have that PQ is parallel to AB, and PA equal to 8 meters. PA equal to 8 meters. AR equals to 18 meters. AR equals to 18 meters. So this is equal to 18 meters. This is also equal to 18 meters. Now, AB equal to 10 meters. So where is AB? AB equal to 10 meters, and QB equals to 12 meters. Right. Now, what is it that we are given? We are given the length from here to there, the length from here to there, the length from here to there, and also the length from here to there. Now, calculate the length of the first one, BR. So now we have to get the length of BR. Right. Now, what is it that is given? Solution. What is it that is given? It is given that PA equal to AR, and they are all equal to 18 meters. This is given. This is definitely given. What is also given? It is given that BA is parallel to PQ. BA is this one is parallel to this one. It is also given. Now, what conclusion can we draw from this? We can therefore say BR equal to BQ. What is the reason for our conclusion? A line through midpoint is parallel to the second side. So line through the midpoint is parallel to the second side. Therefore, this means that your BR is nothing but the same as 12 meters, because BR is also equal to, BR is equal to BQ, whereas it is given that BQ equal to 12 meters. Therefore, BR will also be your 12 meters. Right. The second one, the length of a PQ. Where is PQ? This is PQ. Now, what do we know? Since we have shown that this one equal to this one, we can therefore say BA equal to, remember this is BA. BA equal to half PQ. BA equals to half the length of PQ. Now let's try to solve for PQ from this one. BA is what? Is 10 meters, which is equals to half the length of PQ. Right. Now let's try to solve for PQ. So you simply multiply by 2 divided by 1, which is the reciprocal of 1 divided by 2. We multiplied by 2 divided by 1, which is the reciprocal of 1 divided by 2. Remember, what we do on the right, we also do on the left. So this will cancel out this, and then that will also cancel out that. Then we'll remain with this one multiplied by this one, which is 20 meters equal to PQ. So the length of PQ is actually 20 meters. So what conclusion can we also say? So since BA is half the length of PQ, it means that PQ is twice the length of PA. Right. Allow me to take this opportunity And thank you for watching the video. Please don't forget to like, share, and also subscribe for more videos.